My goodness. And there it is. Wow, get this in to go.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for the PWBA Spokane Open taking place at Lilac Lanes in Spokane, Washington. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV and USBC Communications, and we are ready for our final qualifying round. Just 6 games left to go before we determine our top 4 for the stepladder finals taking place tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time right here, bowltv.com. Our top 3 players have created some distance from themselves and the rest of the field. Dasha Kovalova, Liz Johnson, and Danielle McEwen are working with basically a 100-pin cushion heading into this final 6 games. However, from 4th place down to 12th, we have about 70 pins separating those players. So with that in mind, there's going to be a lot of back and forth throughout the course of this round, a lot of opportunities to shoot big scores as well to make that move for these players out there looking to make it into the top 4. So it's going to be fast, furious, and exciting. So we like all those things. So let's head out to the lanes here as competition is just gotten underway. Once again, this is total pinfall, not head-to-head matches, as a heads up. So looking to be in the top 4 after 24 games, total pinfall on this 45-foot condition. As we get underway here, let's bring in the crew as Curtis Von Kruger on site at Lilac Lanes. There he is.
Oh, that's delicious. I'm ready to go. I have my drink. I got some food. We've got some excitement because it is a traffic jam, and anybody in the top 12 can make a run at this. 150s are lurking in the shadows, but 250s are also lurking in the shadows. So people can make a move. People can fall, and that's really, really exciting when everybody in the field can make a run. So you know they're going to want to start off quick because it is now a sprint. You do not have a lot of time, especially if you're sitting in that 12 spot. Valerie Burrs here had an incredible block to make it. She made some hay, so to speak. 2-0, 2-0. I'll get the exact scores here, but she just had herself quite a day. But actually, she was the first out. That is my bad. I am sitting here ranting on something that is incorrect. Really starting off with a bang there, Aaron Smith. Starting off with a bang.
Valerie did have a nice run to make a leap there. She was in the cut heading into the last game. Had a few players roll big games to get ahead of her when it was all said and done. Clara Guerrero actually going to have that final spot be at plus 129 to have the longest way to go. But at plus 196, Daphne Tan, the spot being chased right now for the top 4, one of the young standouts from Team Singapore in the field. There's actually 3 players from Singapore who are in contention here looking to make it into the stepladder finals to go along with Dasha Kovalova, Liz Johnson, and Danielle McEwen. So we got a lot to discuss, of course, as we get into competition here. Once again, a 6-game block. We had 3 on most pairs during the previous round, now just down to 2. But we do have all pairs available to watch here on bowltv.com. So you're able to switch through the different channels, follow your favorite athletes as we make our way through this final 6-game block. So we'll go full screen here as we get into competition. But as we mentioned, Daphne plus 196, currently holding on to that 4th spot, 98 pins behind 3rd place. Danielle McEwen at plus 294, Liz Johnson at plus 322, and Dasha Kovalova moving into the lead the final game in the earlier block today, plus 367. But the players chasing right now, Shalyn Zulkifli, plus 168, Erin McCarthy, plus 152, Kelly Kulik, plus 147, Daria Payuk, plus 145, New Wei Finn, plus 140, Shannon O'Keefe and Bernice Lim, plus 131, and then Clara Guerrero at plus 129. Players just missing out on the round of 12 here. Valerie Bercier plus 104, 25 pins back. Missy Parkin plus 87 in 14th. Maria Jose Rodriguez plus 76 in 15th place. Misaki Mukutani plus 74. Stephanie Zavala plus 71. Rocio Restrepo plus 68. Diana Zavyalova plus 62. And Maria Balanova plus 48, your top 20.
You know, a couple of players had really, really great blocks to try to get a run at this. And as I said, Valerie Bercier posted the high block of the game of the tournament, or not the tournament, but the block. High series 1301 total pinfall for that particular block, and to fall just short of that 20-25 sticks, that's gotta hurt a little bit, but you know, you still got to be proud with how you bowl on that tough shot. But Claire Guerrero shot a 235 the last game to insert herself into the finals. And so now that you got a chair, you got nothing to lose. You know, you feel like you're playing on house money. See if you can make a move.
Guerrero nearly matched the effort there, went plus 97. On the strength of a couple of big games in there. She had a 276 in game 4 and then 235, as you mentioned, Curtis, to wrap things up to get to be the number. Final spot in.
Dasha Kovalova here. We've talked about her consistency throughout the tournament. Again, an insanely consistent block, but she actually had the big game where the other blocks, she would have just medium paced games, and then she had the big game in the end. 247 puts her at 1301 for the first block, and inserts herself as the leader. Dasha just continues to impress this season, Aaron, and the work she has put in during the off season, so to speak, is really just showing up everywhere as she has become one of the most consistent and reliable bowlers out here on tour.
It's really been fun to watch her progress over the past couple of seasons. You know, looking back to her success at Wichita State through 2016, you know, she was one of the top collegiate players in the nation, and you know, when you have, you know, kind of those accolades, you walk into the PWBA tour with, you know, there's expectations to you know, continue to perform at a high level. And, you know, for Dasha, it was a bit of a learning curve. It took a couple of seasons for her to get comfortable out here on tour. And, you know, 2017, 2018, you know, didn't have a championship round appearance, had, I think, 1 or 2 top 10 finishes. So, you know, it was one of those things where it was like, you know, just picking up a little bit of pace each season, and you know, getting a little bit better, a little bit closer, and then all of a sudden 2019 happened. She makes a show at the Queens. All right, major champion, and then obviously the 300 game to win the Louisville Open. All of a sudden, you know, she's on this whole different level, and I feel that was kind of one of the underlying points of the season coming into it, is that we've seen those steady progressions from her. Where can she go from there? 2-win season, you know, out of the gates, in the mix for Player of the Year. Throughout the course of the year, she made 2 other major TV shows during the course of the season. And it's like, where can Dasha go from here? And not only can she continue to win, she's won twice already. She's in position to make another show here on the PWBA Tour this season. I believe this would be her 6th stepladder finals if she's able to hang on to a spot here. And Player of the Year well within her grasp. So the steady progression has been very rewarding to see, just as a fan of the sport, to see her continue to work at her craft. And it's fun to think of how, you know, kind of her peak out there. What's next for her after, you know, the impressive 2 seasons she's put together here.
And we will find out hopefully. And, but it's impossible to say. It's so funny because I think in the moment where bowlers come out here and maybe they had collegiate success. Maybe, they have already made a name for themselves. It's so hard to not define yourself in that first 1, 2, 3, even 4 seasons and thinking that that's what your career is going to be, because that's not the case. And if you can be honest with yourself, focus on the things that you can change, which is execution and versatility, right? You can absolutely come out and change the narrative of your career in just one season. And then all of a sudden, when you're building that confidence, and then all of a sudden you have those affirming moments. And I think Dasha has had too many to mention over the last couple of seasons, those affirming moments that not only is she belonging in this, on this tour, but she can be one of the best, if not the best player out here. And so, Julia Bond is now in the similar category where she had that really disappointing 19 season for her standards. She still had a good season, but now she's come out here and made those progressions and made those steps. Another tournament she'd rather put behind her, but I'm sure she'll bounce back at the Open coming next week. Liz having a little bit of struggles here. A couple opens early, can still shoot 2-team. And I've seen that left on that lane a couple of times now.
Yeah, guys, it looks like, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zone is just extremely tight right now. And Danielle McEwen is out of the gate with a huge game. She's got a possible 278, and so she could quickly jump into the lead here. And there are a lot of low scorers around the building, so anybody in that group from 4th to 12th could really make a big jump here, but doesn't look like anybody's taking advantage of it. I don't even see any 200 games within range of me except for Danielle McEwen's big possible.
Let's switch over there after Dasha's spare attempt to take a look here in game 1 of our 6-game block, our final 6-game block, before we're ready for tonight's stepladder finals.
I mean, the two pairs I have in front of me, guys, we've got Erin McCarthy and Kelly Kulik and Daria Payuk and Shalin Zakifli. They have 3 strikes in 28 shots so far.
Yeah, it was all right, just in time for Danielle to get ready to go in the 10th frame here.
And that's after 10 minutes of practice.
It almost feels like we're just right back at round 1 with the scoring pace. With that game, that opening game.
Yeah, so, Danielle shooting, if she can go off the sheet here and shoot 270, it's almost like shooting 370. It's great pace.
You can see Daphne Tan there, 86 in the 7th. She was the 4th spot. Nothing too crazy there from New Wei Fen. See to our left, another split there for Liz. So Danielle making the move here early. She's her first game average the last 2 rounds has been 258 and in position to improve upon that. And gets
the
baby.
Yeah, look at all those 2-4-8 10s, 2-8 10s, 2-4 10s, washouts. I mean, they're all up there right now. Shannon she had mentioned it in the interview we did with her when she shot that big last game to get in the cut. She said, I need to figure out a way to shoot a better game on the fresh. And, even with Danielle on her pair, showing her how to do it, she's still going to struggle to shoot 160 this game.
.68, the number for Shannon.
Yeah, and the good news for her is she's not going to lose ground.
It's pretty crazy out here.
Yeah. I mean, you got Daphne Tan shooting a 132 with a strike spare in the 10th. You've got Nue Finn on a 172 pace. Shalin's on a 164 pace. Daria's on a 169 pace. Erin McCarthy's got a 2.410 in the 10th, and if she doesn't make it, she'll be in the 150s. Kelly Kulik can throw the back 5 for 180.
Yeah, Dasha's going to shoot at best 170.
And she just 210, or Daria just 210, so she'll be in the 150s. So Shannon O'Keefe's going to actually pick up some ground shooting 168.
And Danielle is going to, I mean,
she's going to be leading by 1,000 after this game.
She's going to take full charge of this. I think if my eyes don't deceive me, which they often do, Danielle might shoot the only 200 of the first game.
Yeah.
And it's 278.
Yeah.
It's a 278. Wow. So what do we think happened here?
Well, I don't think it's surprising. I think as they put this pattern out more and more often, they get tighter and tighter, and they were already this huge cliff, at 4, and the players who, and even Liz Johnson, who's been trying to play the dry, and Shalin Zulkifli, who's been playing the dry, she actually is throwing a ball that's got a little shine on it, just so she can play in the friction. But as soon as she gets that ball left of 4, it goes 60 feet. So they're just a little tighter in that, if you get the ball left of 4, and it's going to be a couple of games because there's so little play out there before that zone kind of blends out a little bit. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Danielle has a perfect strategy for how to combat it, and I think she's just using it as hold and making her misses to the left, and she's awfully good at playing that angle. She's won quite a few titles keeping the ball in front of her like that, but she's doing it in a different way. In the past it's always been with ball speed, and now she's playing that angle with low ball speed and just kind of using her touch. And all of the things that she's been working on this year are starting to pay off.
And that is the earmark of a really quality player, and one that strives for greatness is that they always are looking for new things. And even players throughout history have always tried to redefine themselves throughout their career and find ways to win in different ways. And Danielle is definitely doing that this season.
And just some quick math housekeeping here. Her last 3 game ones on this pattern, she shot 794.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the strokes gained statistic, that the PGA uses and the LPGA uses. And, in bowling, we don't keep that statistic, but Danielle is strokes, pins gained in game 1 is got to be about close to 200 pins the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a game that everybody, as we see very clearly here, most people struggle with that first game. And it's a testament to what she's doing. So it looks like Dasha shot $161 her first game. So just Clara, 143, 150, 160, 160, 180. There's a lot of big red numbers.
All right, folks, with that interesting twist, we're at the end of game 1. For the folks who are watching on bowltv.com, you're already in the place to be to continue for our final 5 games to see what happens with this scoring pace. But for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, our sneak peek here for game 1 is coming to a close. So you're going to have to head on over to bowltv.com to continue watching. Pick up a subscription today to watch the rest of this block and the stepladder finals tonight. You can pick up an event ticket for $8.95, a monthly recurring subscription for $9.95, or an annual recurring subscription, $79.95. Transaction fees do apply. So head over to bowltv.com, pick that up. For right now, we're going to take a quick refresh to get ready for game 2. So folks, we will be back. PWBA Spokane Open coming up next. And just like that, after one person striking throughout the entire house for game number 1, we have nothing but strikes here in game 2. Shalyn Zulkifli, Daria Payuk, Kelly Kulik, and Aaron McCarthy. Going to be here on 17 through 20. Shannon O'Keefe, Danielle McEwen, New Wei Fenn, and Daphne Tan will be on our 13 through 16 channel, and then Clara Guerrero, Dasha Kovalova, Bernie Slim, and Liz Johnson will be on our 21 to 24 channel. All available here on bowltv.com.
Aaron, your head's gonna explode when you see the standings after 19 games. I'm gonna let you read it.
I'm afraid I don't have it just yet.
Okay, it should be coming any second. It's here posted in the building on the overhead monitors already. I don't think I've ever seen a number drop that much in one game. But really, nothing's changed.
So if I had to guess, the cut number went from like plus 196 to like plus 150 something, give or take, but it's still Daphne 10.
129 is the current fourth place.
Oh my. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I knew Daphne was having a rough game. I didn't realize it was that rough.
Yeah, she shot 132.
Whew.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it just opened up the whole ball game for everybody. I mean, not that like we said, there were basically 9 players bowling for one spot. It's still that, but the number is just crazy. And then the number between third and fourth is now 162 pins.
Wow.
and Liz walked from one end of the center to the other, and she just was looking up at the scoreboard, and she started the walk upset because she shot 168, and by the time she got to her pair, she was just all smiles because she looked at all the scores. She said, I might have picked up ground that game.
All right, it is available online now. Plus 372 after that 278 game. Danielle at the top of the leaderboard, as we all knew was going to happen. Plus 372. Dasha Kovalova plus 328. Liz Johnson plus 291. And then moving into fourth on the strength of a 161. Shalyn Zulkifli plus 129. 1 pin ahead of Daphne Tan plus 128. Kelly Kulik, who's up a spot with 166 plus 113. Bernice Lim making the big jump from a tie for 10th all the way to 7th with 181. She had the
second highest game.
She had the second highest game. This is nuts. She's at
181.
She's at plus 112. Erin McCarthy plus 108. Daria Payuk plus 102. New Wave Fenn plus 99. Shannon O'Keefe plus 99. Clara Guerrero plus 72. So more fun for us. Everybody got closer for the 1 through 9. It's even closer, the distance from 12th to 4th place.
I've never seen anything like that. And not only did we not have any 200s, we didn't have any 190s.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, we can only go up from here.
Yeah. And if you're Daphne Tan and you shoot 132, you expect to like bury yourself.
Yeah, well, and Clara Guerrero, who made the cut on the number, then she shoots 143. Normally that's okay, I'm done. But she's only 57 back of the show. Still.
Yeah, she gained pins on the cut number by
right.
doing that.
Right.
Good job.
Because she was nearly 70 pins out before this game, or her last game.
That has to be the lowest game one total for a round.
Yeah, there's absolutely, and that's with the 278.
It's like if you were to plot that on like a graph, you just have that one big statistical outlier.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty crazy game there.
It looks like things are settling down just a touch. Because now I see more strikes through 4 frames than you did in the entirety of the last game.
Yeah, no, for sure. All righty.
Kelly pulls up there on the 7-10 attempt.
Yeah, that's frustrating when you finally get it somewhat figured out and then you make a good shot and looking for a double and then leave that.
And now it's like things have flip-flopped. Danielle McEwen struggling through the first few frames there.
Daria putting together a turkey, and you got to really look at how she's playing the lanes. She's basically right in the middle of that 4 through 8 zone, and she's trying to pull it. Her swing is going as left as she can make it go, and she's playing as straight up that little zone as she can. And as the fronts start to break down a little bit, which they already are, she should have a little bit of room there. And when she misses a board right, it's not 2-8-10 anymore.
Now you have a few people vying for big games here. Bernice Lim can shoot 280. Dasha can shoot 279. Daria's got a big one. She can still shoot a very good game. It's 268 for Daria. Just like that. And it shows you how quickly absolutely how quickly things can change. Yeah, Johnny Campos, who's seen a number of games on the PBA and associated tours. He's never seen anything like that. Yeah, Johnny. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that either.
Shalin had moved into the top 4.
Oh, good shot.
I was looking for 3 in a row there. Great shot indeed. Rings the 10. So far, a clean game, though. Filling her frames, avoiding the big red circles.
Taria with a fast 8 on this lane on her last shot, and that one high flush. Watching Liz Johnson up here on 23 and 24, and she just keeps moving right, and the ball keeps not hooking. And pretty soon she's going to be lofting it over the right gutter.
This has been something else to watch this past couple of days, but it's pretty strange. I mean, and obviously I'm watching from Arlington, Texas, so wow. So it's I'm watching like many of the folks are at home, but it just like there just seems like there's a really weird vibe in the building right now, just like overall of like just everything that happened. And obviously JT, you're there, you can speak to it, but yeah, it's kind of like this just real weird quiet moment going on across the house right now, and I can't explain it.
It is, and it's part of it is your reaction when you shoot 150s is that you get deflated and you think it's over, because you like we said, Curtis said at the top of the show, it's a sprint. So you think, okay, well, if I fall over a hurdle and land on my face, I have no chance to win the race still. But they all do. And so I think they're trying to get themselves motivated back up again to keep going and figure this out. But they really haven't gotten much easier. They're still, if you get it a little right and get it going away, it's going to 2-8-10. I think we still probably have another game and a half before, that spot settles down completely. But yeah, I've never seen a number drop 70 pins in one game, especially for a show. Oh, just 2 great shots in the 8th and the 10th there. Shalin could have shot 240 if those 2 carry, and now she's going to be shooting 205 if she can go spare strike here. Bernice Lim finished with 238. Liz Johnson with 179. Dasha Kovalova can shoot 247. Clara Guerrero will be in the 170s, it looks like. She left the Greek Church, her first shot in the 10th. Dasha finally shot 240 and then followed it up with 160. We had her high game and her low game back to back.
So you said Bernice Lim at 238?
Correct.
Which would put her at plus 150. She's going to pass Shalin here, who's going to get into the plus 130 range. I feel like we're going to have a weird stat heading into the show tonight, where it's going to be, those teams who are losing the entire game and they don't lead until literally the final shot, or number of or amount of time leading, like 0.1 second or something.
Yeah,
like that.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I feel that's going to be the case here. It just kind of has that vibe that all of a sudden someone who has not been in the top 4 all week is going to just come in the last game because it's going to be so ridiculously close and be like now making their first appearance in the top 4.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was kind of like when Charles Schwartzel won the Masters golf tournament a few years back. I don't think CBS showed him more than 2 minutes the whole tournament. So Shalin with a really good 204 there. I think she made a nice move, get away from that little hang spot. Daria with 214, so good score for her.
She'll get up to plus 116 now. Just like that, time for game 3.
Kovalova opened in the 10th for 213, so she's back in the 2 teens again.
She's back at it.
Clara Guerrero opened in the 10th for 174.
All right, as we get ready for game 3, I want to take a quick second to give a shout out to Kegel, our official lane maintenance provider with products for bowling centers, coaches, and mechanics. Kegel is truly built for bowling. Visit kegel.net to learn more about all they do for our great sport. Big thanks to Double J, John Janowitz, taking care of the lanes this week on tour. And our good buddy Bill stopped in the chat as well a little bit earlier this week, Bill Walters.
Danielle McEwen bailed out 186. She was struggling that game, but able to throw a turkey in the 10th to shoot 186. So good finish for her. Shannon O'Keefe with another rough game, 161. And Daphne Tan with another rough game. She shot 153, following up her 132 in game number 1.
Coming up here for game number 3 across the house. 13 and 14, Kelly Kulik and Aaron McCarthy. 15 and 16, Clara Guerrero and Dasha Kovalova. 17 and 18, Bernice Lim and Liz Johnson. 19 and 20, Shannon O'Keefe and Danielle McEwen. Nue Fenn and Daphne Tan on 21 and 22, and then Daria Payuk and Shalin Zolkiefli on 23 and 24. So Bernice Lim, 238 last game, and then had 181, which was the second highest game of game 1. So the biggest mover and shaker so far here in the 4th round. And based off of everything we've seen, look like she's actually going to move into the 4th spot here.
I bet Liz Johnson is happy to have that big cushion she built up the first day. Oh, we got score dash delivery.
Yes, score dash. No service fees from Tennille Milligan, sorry. Man, Danielle McEwen, 186 that game with a nice bail, by the way. Nice little three-bagger to end the game. Gets her to 186, 358 over. Dasha Kovalova, 2-teen, feels like shooting 230. 341 over. So still a very narrow gap between those two. Liz Johnson, 179. She's sitting at 270. So you're starting to see a little bit of separation between second and third, and a little bit of a closing gap between third and fourth. Bernice Lim shoots 238 to put her within, 120. But, based on these scores, anything can happen. Shaylin Zulkifli is 133 over, so she is actually just 17 out of the show. Daria Payok, 116 over, 214 her last game. Kelly Kulik in seventh, Erin McCarthy, Hui Fin Nu, Daphne Tan, Shannon O'Keefe, and Claire Guerrero close out the top 12. Still not a lot of 200s. You had 4 200s shot that game.
Time for Shannon O'Keefe to get it going here. She's 90 back of the show. She's bowling right next to Bernice Lim, who's the player she's chasing. And even though she's had a really rough start to the block, still in there. She's 168, 161 her first two. But amazingly, still has a chance. I'm pretty sure if we had asked Shannon if she was going to shoot 168, 161 her first two games, would she have any chance of making the show? She would say no. But here she is. Liz trying to get her eyes to the left and play in that puddle. And that one just a little too much left. Here comes Shannon. Spare turkey.
I feel something like that's totally in play based off of everything that's happened so far this week. 160, 160, 290.
Yeah. Shaolin with the front five over on 23 and 24. So keep an eye on that. She's had a lot of big games this week. You'd think if there was anybody in the field who would be able to shoot a big game the last game to make the cut, she would be the one.
for Shalin. Look at or just kind of thinking back in past history here in the States. She's been a member off and on over the past couple of years. Has bowled a couple of stops. This is good attempt there by Danielle.
That's a terrible break.
Did everything she was supposed to do there. I agree, Danielle. What more can I do there? But I want to say the last time she's made a show over here stateside would be, thinking back to the U.S. Women's Open in the late 2000s when they kind of had a multitude of shows where you had like 4 different small finals and you eventually made it to the big final.
Yeah.
I feel that might have been the, kind of the last show on American soil that Shalin would have made. So that would be 10 plus years in the making.
Shannon goes Brooklyn there. I'll tell you guys, this is the most wet, dry condition I've ever seen in my life.
That is a bold statement. That is, yeah, but I mean, I can't dispute it.
It's official. I was waiting. I was going to give it a good 20 games before I made the declaration.
And it has been signed, sealed, delivered by Jason Thomas. Most wet, dry condition he's ever seen. That's Shaylin Zulkifli, though, liking things here. That's the front 6.
So does Aaron McCarthy.
Shannon O'Keefe trying to bounce back. Like it. We see her over here on 20 on the featured pair. You shoot 329 for 2. You're still right in the hunt. Oh,
Parlays the Brooklyn into a 5-bagger.
That's like hitting 16 against a 20 and pulling a 5.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is to me.
Oh, well,
You're like, there's no way.
You're supposed to hit 16 against a 20. So
You are, and you're supposed to strike. You're supposed to absolutely put it in the pocket too. But when you just threw a runaway Brooklyn, you don't expect to win that hand. You don't expect to win that hand, and then you pull the 5 and you take home some dough.
Shalin missed in the 7th. She's still got 279 possible. Liz Johnson finding a little something.
McCarthy's actually stepping up, looking for 8 in a row now as well, over on 13 and 14.
Let's go check it out, Aaron.
I don't think I'll be able to get there in time, but if she gets this one, we'll get her 9th and 10th. Kelly throwing some strikes on that pair too.
I mean, it's pretty crazy when you go from, impossible to a strike fest in a game and a half.
Yeah. It's just, this is all over the place.
But if you put dry to the right and oil to the left,
They're going to
these
figure
players are going to figure out a way to throw some strikes.
Aaron did not strike in frame number 8. 2-pin, but picked up the spare. So both her and Kelly can shoot 279 over on 13 and 14. Do you guys think the step ladder might have this type of swing a little bit later tonight as well? Or they go from just brutal to something crazy by the time we get through a couple matches?
It really depends on who makes it. If you have somebody like Daria get there, it could be interesting. Like I think I think Daria. It's really hard to say, but whoever gets that fourth spot will probably determine, how the lanes play for the stepladder. It could be Shalin who's going to play them kind of like Liz, and if that were to happen, I think it's status quo. You're probably not going to have any super low scores, but I don't think they're going to get really easy. But if you have someone like Daria make it, she could make them really easy for herself if she could get through that first match. But you got to get there first.
Yeah, Earl, that's people who try to move in too early on this condition to kind of try to answer your question. It's really extraordinarily flat in the middle of the lane. And so if you try to move in and play that part of the lane, you're not going, gets really tight and it's hard to get it to the pocket. And so there was kind of as much of a defined zone to play, and that was right early. As things break down, people have been moving in, but to start in at the beginning of the block, we virtually saw nobody do that.
Yeah, if you try to play left of 7-8 early and you miss right, you're not going to hit the head pin. And so that's why they stay away from it. And then there's also this very defined friction to the right, which you're always going to try to use as a player, as your miss room to the right. The trick is, how do you use them? How do you blend them out? And typically it's been the players at the top of the leaderboard have been able to kind of ride the edge of it or play right in the dry to kind of blend it out until they open up. And by game 3, and we're seeing it right now with the scores going up, they've blended out enough to where the players can start to take advantage of that friction spot. But I mean, we're going to have potentially 4 games over 270 here after 2 games ago, only one person shot over 181. So it's just crazy. Shannon O'Keefe going for an 8-bagger here. She can still shoot 290. Shalin can shoot 278. Daphne Tan, who she can almost beat her first 2 games combined this game. She can shoot 266. She rolled 284 for her first 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Shalin's going to end up in the 250s here. She didn't get the first hit in the 10th.
Great game.
Erin McCarthy already in the 260s. She's 1 strike away from being into the 270s. She is not going to get though. Kelly Kulik in the 240s. 250s still out there.
Daria Payek with 204. Another strike there for O'Keefe. 2 more, and that's it's going to be a very interesting way to shoot 619 for her first 3.
Oh.
268 for Aaron McCarthy, 255 for Kelly Kulik. Shalyn Zulkifli, 258. Daphne Tan's going to be in the 250s. And Shannon O'Keefe. Making moves here.
Yeah, a lot of good questions in the chat. Just, people asking, what is wet dry? It's a term. It's a little bit outdated now. Typically, the ball reps and the players will use the term cliffed. But it basically means there's a big pile of oil to your left if you're a right-hander and a lot of dry to your right. And typically that's what you want. That's what you want to see. But if it's not blended out, if it's not tapered, then it can become very tricky to play on. So if you let's just say you're trying to play 10 and there's a massive amount of dry right at 10. If you throw it into that dry too early, the ball will overreact. So you're actually missing right at your target, and then the ball jumps left and misses left at the pins. The trick is where do you want the ball crossing that barrier between the wet and the dry to blend it out so that you have a little bit of misroom. And that's what the players are trying to figure out. And it's been very challenging this week because it's 45 feet of a lot of oil at basically that tapers off at the fourth board. And if you get the ball right of that, it hooks immediately. It's almost like the lanes are stripped. And so, we did see Gigi Mason move in and do well, but that was when there was a lot more traffic in qualifying, and they were able to blend out a lot faster. She really struggled today when she tried to do that because there was less traffic. So we did talk about it early on in the week. We felt like the players that were going a little straighter, playing, in the friction, laying the ball down in the friction early and going right to left instead of left to right, we're going to be able to minimize the low scores. And that's kind of what we've been able to see throughout the week. The three players that have done that the best, obviously, are the top three: Danielle, Dasha, and Liz Johnson. And those players are really good at playing straight angles. Shalyn's had an up and down week. She's had times when she's had a great look and she's been able to shoot big scores, but she's also had, some low games in there as well. But she's still right there. Another question that's related to that is, is that why the men loft the ball over the left gutter? The answer is no. The reason for that is if you can imagine the traffic on the lane, it creates a triangle, right? If you think about the shape that the balls are making down the lane, they start to the left and they go to the right. And over time, this giant triangle will develop in the front part of the lane. And so the only way to take advantage of oil to your left and dry to your right is to throw the ball over that triangle. And the reason you loft it is because on that extreme of an angle, you still need to throw a pretty strong bowling ball to get the ball back if you're throwing it that extremely to the right. And so that's why they loft it, and that's why because it works. It gives them the most amount of margin for error, and the ball hits pretty hard still when they do that. Back when I was growing up, we'd play fallback, which, was okay, but it was very difficult to carry playing fallback. It's a lot easier to carry when you can create 5 or 6 degrees of entry angle, which is what the loft allows you to do.
Getting ready for game 4 here. Want to give a quick shout out to Storm. Storm is the leading manufacturer of high-performance bowling equipment. Be sure to visit your local VIP Pro Shop to pick up your new Storm bowling ball and bowl up a Storm. You can visit them at stormbowling.com, and Storm will also be giving away, as part part of our stepladder finals later tonight. A bowling ball of choice to one lucky winner here on Bowl TV. So do not miss the stepladder finals. Going to be giving away 3 bowling balls when it's all said and done. So I want to give a big shout out to Storm for helping us out there, and JT, and kind of tracking some of the progress of the scores. You talked about the big dip in game 1. We saw the cut score go from plus 196 to plus 129. It jumped to plus 150, and I see you just got handed the sheet there. I think it's basically back to where we started.
Yeah.
It looks like Shalin Zulkifli at plus 191 is going to be the number here heading into game number 4.
Yeah, that is correct, Aaron. I'll start from the top. Danielle McEwen still leading at plus 340. Dasha Kovalova shot 165 last game. She is now at plus 306 in second. Liz Johnson with 202 is in third at plus 272. And Shalin with that big 258 is in fourth at plus 191. But then there's still a traffic jam. I mean, basically, I feel like there with 3 games left, everybody but Clara still has a chance to make the show. And Clara would have an outside chance, but she'd probably need 800. But Erin McCarthy is in 5th at plus 164. Kelly Kulik in 6th at plus 161. Shannon O'Keefe, after that 287, is in 7th at plus 147. Bernice Lim is in 8th at plus 136. Daphne Tan still hanging around even after a 132 and a 153. She shot 255 to get to plus 136, so she's just 55 pins back of the show. And Daria Payok is in 10th at plus 120. New Wei Fen at plus 101 is in 11th. Clara, as I mentioned, she's at plus 79, so she's 112 back of the show. Still could get there.
Speaking of Clara, she has joined us here on 19 and 20, along with Dasha Kovalova. Over on 17 and 18, Erin McCarthy and Kelly Kulik. New Wei Fen and Daphne Tan are on 13 and 14. Daria Payuk and Shalin Zulkifli on 15 and 16. Bernice Lim and Liz Johnson on 21 and 22. And then Shannon O'Keefe and Danielle McEwen on 23 and 24.
And the reason the scores went up so much, and it's pretty crazy, Aaron, if you think about it, but there was a little spot at 4-5 that, as they put this pattern down time and time again, that spot's going to get slicker and slicker as the week goes on. And so this is the slickest the players have seen it. And every time they would miss a little bit right and hit that spot, it would wash out or 2-8-10. And now that spot's burned up a little bit. And so if you miss to the right a little bit, it checks up and hooks back rather than going 60 feet. And all of a sudden, that combined with the friction to the right gives the players a little bit of room to miss. And when they have a little bit of room to miss, they are going to shoot some big scores. But if you were just watching and you had no idea of that, you'd be like, what? Why do they all suck? And then all of a sudden, why are they so good now? Right? I mean, it almost makes no sense. But if you understand, the lane conditions and how they're breaking them down, that's why what happened. But it's going to make the stepladder very, very interesting.
$9 p.m. Eastern, the time for that excitement. Danielle, Dasha, and Liz still in good position here. Although their 160-pin buffer they had after game 1 now less than 100 between Liz in 3rd place and Shalin in 4th. But even there, that top 3 is certainly not settled yet.
No, I Liz could still get there. She's got the front 3 this game. and get there. What I mean by that is take the lead. And Liz is playing as far left as I've seen her all week. She's currently playing 8-9 at the arrows, and just going straight down 8-9.
Kelly 5 for 5. Danielle started with 3 in a row before a single pin spare in the 4th frame. There's Kelly looking for 6. Not going to mix them up there. 7 pin left standing.
Shannon O'Keefe making a little run here as well. Spare strike, spare turkey on 23 and 24. So she's got the hot hand right now. 287 her last game.
Daria Payuk put together a couple strikes here, 4 in a row after a pair of spares to start on 15 and 16. Aaron delivers the double there. First player out heading into this game. See Daria add another one far left of your screen. 279 still out there.
Yeah,
I agree, Kelly.
Been quite a few of those for her, but I think it's just a symptom of how she's trying to throw the ball. She's being real nice to it, meaning she's going very much up the back, end over end. And the reason she's doing that is because when she does miss right and the ball catches the friction, she doesn't want it to jump left. She just wants it to stop. And when you go up the back of it, that blends out that friction. It'll allow the ball to just hit the friction and slow down and stop and not jump left. And that's why she's doing that. But sometimes when she gets the ball in the oil, or even sometimes when she gets it to the friction, the ball will actually have nothing on it when it hits the pins, and she'll leave the weak 710 there. Still doesn't make it any easier to swallow because you're hitting the pocket, and it's a really bad break when you leave a 710. But that's kind of why it's happening.
Still getting to the 250s once again. Slowed her down a little bit there. McCarthy 3 in a row.
O'Keefe left a ringing 10 in the 8th, so her string comes to an end, but she can still shoot 249 this game, and McEwen also with a great game going as well. She can shoot 247.
Shalyn has 123 in the 7th after her second open of game 4.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of players closing the gap this game.
Daria did not strike in the 8th frame, left a 2-8. Saws a max at 257 with the spare. Kelly looking to set up the 9th.
That was pretty.
You can see it to the left of your screen. Shalyn, 36910. Takes only off the 3 and the 9 pin, so back-to-back opens. Her max now drops into... Oh, it's the second time we've seen that on that lane.
Yeah, that's rough.
But
one of the worst breaks you can get.
Shalyn's max 191, so she's going to be given a couple pins back. If Kelly doubles here in the 10th, she's in the 250s. She's going to be north of plus 210. And even with just a mark getting to the 230s, she is going to surpass Shalyn. But Shannon O'Keefe, already up in the 10th frame, is in the 230s. One more hit gets her into the 240s. She's going to be pushing that plus 190 mark as well. So
things are getting very interesting, Aaron Smith.
It is all the drama you asked for, folks. We got the emails. We got the calls. We even got the letters saying we want the drama, we need the drama. Going to have it right here at the Spokane Open. All right, Kelly's got the double. She's going to be moving into the top 4. One more strike from her will get her to plus 217 overall. Shannon finished with 238. She's going to move up to plus 185 now. Danielle, 226, so she is going to extend her lead with Dasha struggling a bit this game. Daria can still get to 257. She already has the first one in the 10th. Oh, wow. If you were watching on 13 and 16, you know what I'm talking about. That second hit in the 10th.
How did that not fall?
I am not sure.
But Liz Johnson can also pass Dasha Kovalova this game. Liz can shoot 232. And she just carried a squasher. First shot in the 10th.
Squasher. Shalin is going to bail this game out. After back-to-back opens in the 7th and the 8th, 3 opens total. She got the hit in the 9th and first 2 in the 10th. So 191 is going to keep her right in the mix. She's going to drop at least 2 spots, though. Kelly Kulik and Shannon O'Keefe are going to pass her. It's a big double there for Dasha, just to kind of keep the distance between her and what looks to be Kelly Kulik now. She doesn't get that hit. 160, she drops 30 pins. She's in that plus 260, 270 range, and then Kelly's only 60 pins back.
Also still keeps her in touch with Danielle and Liz. Liz did end up missing her second shot in the 10th, so 220 her max score. She can get to plus 292. And with that miss, Dasha's max score goes to 172, so she'll be 278 over if she can make this. And Liz Johnson finishes with 220. So she's at plus 292.
Dasha not going to be in the 170s. Spare, she'll be at plus 278. 61 pins ahead of Kelly Kulik, who's going to move on into the top 4. Erin McCarthy, 208. She's going to be at plus 172. She's actually going to drop a couple of spots here, at least 2 spots. All right, business picking up here, folks. Game 5 coming up next. You're on Bowl TV from the PWBA Spokane Open. Want to take a second to give a quick thank you to another gold industry partner in Brunswick. Brunswick has been a proven industry leader for over 100 years. For more information, check them out at www.brunswickbowling.com. Brunswick will also be part of our giveaway later tonight during the stepladder finals. We'll be giving away a Melee Jab Midnight Blue to one lucky Bowl TV viewer. So you got to watch the stepladder finals for the chance to win. So big thank you to Brunswick for their continued support here of the PWBA Tour. All right, pairs for game number 5 on 13 and 14, Daria Payuk and Shalin Zulkifli. 15 and 16, Kelly Kulik and Aaron McCarthy. 17 and 18, Clara Guerrero and Dasha Kovalova. 19 and 20, Bernice Lim and Liz Johnson. 21 and 22, Shannon O'Keefe and Danielle McEwen. And then 23 and 24, New Wei Fen and Daphne Tan.
All right, got score dash delivery. And you had it nailed, Aaron Smith. Danielle McEwen is your leader at plus 366. Liz Johnson at plus 292 is in second. Dasha Kovalova in third at plus 278. Kelly Kulik is now in fourth place at plus 217. She's gone 255, 256 her last two games. Shannon O'Keefe has made a big run as well. She's gone 287, 238 her last two games. She's in fifth place at plus 185. Shalin Zulkifli is in sixth at plus 182. Aaron McCarthy just 10 pins back of her at plus 172. And then there's a bit of a drop-off. Daphne Tan in eighth at plus 136. Bernice Lim in ninth at plus 106. New Wei Fen, Daria Payuk, and Clara Guerrero now below 100 under at plus 75, plus 66, and plus 59, respectively. Daria shot 146 last game.
I think that's a typo there for Daria. She was in the 240s that game. So
okay, so she's right in the mix.
JT, as we settle in here, I think I'm intrigued to see if Shannon O'Keefe can keep this going. So she's on 21 and 22 this game. So we're going to take a quick second to head on over there.
Yeah, she so far has hit the pocket all three shots on this pair, but two taps in the first and third. And she's got spare strike spare through three frames.
Also seen our tournament leader, Danielle McEwen, Daphne Tan, and a New Way Finn.
I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with the way Danielle McEwen's ball is going through the pins right now. In fact, Shannon's ball is starting to flatten out a little bit. She's using a lot of surface, and she's kind of milked it for the last couple of games and it's had a really good look. But now her ball's starting to come into the pins a little flat. Danielle's is just running over the 8 pin. Couple of flat 10s on this lane. Her first 2 attempts. And another, Shannon is very patient when it comes to this point. And, especially when the lanes are as tricky as they are right now, she's not going to make any major moves. She's just going to try to find a way to strike on that left lane by making a little bit of a better shot or just a very conservative adjustment. But I think she's going to need to make a ball change. Because the scores have just gotten too high for her to be able to keep up and get one of those last spots without keeping the pedal down.
Taking a look at our other pairs. Nothing too crazy from anyone out of the gates just yet.
And, I'm sure Shannon's got her eyes open and she's looking around and she's saying, okay, what's Kelly doing? What's Sasha doing? What's Shalyn doing? Is anybody throwing a bunch of strikes? And if they are, I might need to make this move a little quicker. But I think that one she just tried. She said, okay, let's try to get it to the right a little bit into that friction and see if I can change the shape a little bit, get the ball to go through the pins a little harder, and checked up immediately. Yeah, look at the way Shannon's ball's going through the pins versus Danielle on this shot here. This is running over the 8 pin. Shannon, 3 straight flat 10s on this lane. It's just so tricky to to try to make a big move here, especially if nobody's forcing you to shoot a big number. Looks like she moved her feet a little bit right, maybe a 1-and-1 move to the right, feet in the eyes, and that one's still flat tens.
Kelly Kulik this game, clean through 6, just one double up there, however. Shalin, clean through 6 as well, no doubles.
Yeah, and I guarantee you Shannon's watching that, and it's dictating whether she makes a move or not. She knows Danielle's ball is going through the pins so much better than hers. But she's controlling the pocket, and she knows, hey, if I shoot 190 here, it's not going to hurt me. And I've still got another game to go. And it'll give me a chance to get a look at a different bowling ball. Or maybe I get to the next pair, and this ball that I'm in right now looks a little better going through the pins. But, man, Aaron, I mean, how many times have you in your life bowled a game where you just hit the pocket every time and you could not strike? And how frustrating is that?
It's incredibly frustrating because not only do you feel close, obviously if you're, and there's another 10-pin for Shannon. First one on that right lane to go along with a pair of strikes and a 6-10, but you really have to ask yourself, and you kind of pose the scenario very well there, is the fact that the rest of the field or the players she's chasing particularly aren't necessarily pushing the factor. To have a little bit of patience at this moment is probably a bit tough, because we've seen oh goodness.
And that was purely because she's thinking about the next move, and she's going to go back and grab a different ball because the wheels are turning so hard in her head. How do I get the ball to go through the pins? You see her put a different ball in the rack there. She didn't pay attention to the 10-pin shot.
I am taken back by that. Was not expecting that, but that patience, with Kelly going at a 2-0 pace and Shalin going at a 190 pace, Aaron McCarthy not going too crazy this game either. But now accelerated from the missed single pin.
And that, because of the missed spare, that even forces the move to happen even more quickly. So let's see if this different ball, that gives her a little bit of a different shape that'll go through the pins a little better. And kind of more of the same. I mean, it's a pretty darn good 180 she's bowling. She basically missed the pocket once in 9 shots.
Very quietly, Danielle McEwen is just running away from the field.
Yeah, no, she is. It looks like she's going to get to bowl one game for the title. And, she's had obviously a great look right out of the gate on the fresh. She's not going to get to bowl on that in the title match, but certainly had big games at all points of the transition. Man, it's just such a frustrating game, Aaron. Hit the pocket every time. She lost her concentration there for a second when she was thinking about a ball change, missed a spare. And that's about as good of a 184 as you're going to see.
Player benefiting the most here in game number 5 is going to be Daria Payuk. Shannon going to be in the 180s here. Aaron McCarthy can only get to 172. 223 the max for Kelly Kulik if she strikes out the 9th and the 10th. Shalin's going to be max out at 215, but Daria's already into the 220s. She can get into the 230s here. 237 max score. And once again, the scores online for her need to be updated. So she has 100 extra pins. If you're watching on 13 and 14, you know why I just said that.
Danielle, she takes a different ball out, and it all looks the same. They're all just putting 10 back. Shannon's like, I just want one ball to look like that. It looks like every ball on your back does that. Shannon getting a look at yet another bowling ball to try to find something for this last game.
Just for a quick clarification in the chat, Danielle's win at the PWBA striking against breast cancer mixed doubles did count as a PWBA Tour title. So she does have 1 title this season and 6 overall for her career. And a title here on the PWBA Tour in each of the last 6 seasons.
Well, I bet you she goes to that ball that she was throwing originally and basically just hopes that the next pair is a little different. Daria with the 4.9, but had the first hit in the 10th already, so she's in the 220s.
And Shalin left an absolute stuffed 9-pin to kick off the 10th, so 204 for her. So kind of the scoring pace around her. That's 204 is going to be a nice game. She's going to get to plus 186. We know Shannon's going to be dropping back. She's going to be dropping down to plus 171 or so. Big hit for her for Kelly to kind of maintain her advantage ahead of Shalin. If she can get this double. Otherwise, Shalin's gaining 11 on her and it gets a little bit closer. But Daria, 224. She's going to get to plus 190 here. And she's going to jump into 5th place, it looks like.
Sets up a really exciting last game.
A ridiculously awesome last game. Let's go.
Bang.
We'll have Kelly's final score here in just a moment. She will be maintaining her spot. Liz Johnson, some trouble this game. She can max out at 178. Dasha can get to 190. Kelly 203, so she's going to be at plus 220. Bernice Lim can get into the 230s this game. But that's only going to put her in the plus 142 range if she spares and strikes out. So, folks, Game 6 is going to be coming up next here on Bowl TV at the PWBA Spokane Open. Prior to the start here, though, got to give a shout-out to Rotogrip, another one of our gold industry partners here on the PWBA Tour. Everything the good folks at Rotogrip do is to put you in a position to dominate. They make equipment that makes you your best, because that's not your name up there next to your score. It's your reputation. Visit rotogrip.com to view their complete line of high-performance bowling balls. And folks, we've been talking about bowling balls on the stepladder finals. Rotogrip is also going to be providing a bowling ball of choice. During the stepladder finals tonight. So big thank you to Rotogrip.
Got a little update on this one.
All right, folks, Game 6. The lineup across the house. Bernice Lim and Liz Johnson, 13 and 14. Shannon O'Keefe, Danielle McEwen, 15 and 16. New Wei Fenn, Daphne Tan, 17 and 18. Daria Payuk and Shalyn Zolkeefli, 19 and 20. Kelly Kulik and Aaron McCarthy, 21 and 22. Clara Guerrero and Dasha Kovalova, 23 and 24.
Okay, I have the update. DoorDash, 23 games. Maria Payok's score is fixed, everybody. Don't worry. Danielle McEwen is your leader. She is going to be the tournament leader. She's at plus 425. She will be bowling for the title. Dasha Kovalova is in second. She's at plus 267. Liz Johnson is in third place at plus 247. Kelly Kulik retains fourth. What a great show if it stays that. At plus 220. Daria Payok in fifth at plus 190. Shalin Zulkifli in sixth at plus 186. Shannon O'Keefe in seventh at plus 169. And then three players maybe have a chance if they were to be able to throw a 12-bagger in this game. Bernice Lim is at plus 139, Daphne Tan at plus 126, Aaron McCarthy at plus 112, and then rounding out the top 12, New Wei Fen at plus 103 and Clara Guerrero at plus 60. So realistically, you're probably looking at four players for one spot. There's a battle between Dasha and Liz for the number 2 spot, and Danielle McEwen is going to be bowling for this title.
That score update is available online as well. And before we get too far into game number 6 here and determine our top 4, let's get that giveaway out there in the world for you good folks. Bowl TV t-shirt up for grabs. One lucky viewer going to take it home here today in our 4th qualifying round for the PWBA Spokane Open. If you're joining us for the first time, hello. Thank you. We appreciate you coming by, supporting Bowl TV and the PWBA Tour. You're going to see a prompt come up in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen very shortly. It's going to say a giveaway will begin soon. It's going to count down for about 60 seconds. In that very same spot, you'll see another message pop up that says the giveaway has begun. There's going to be a submit entry button available on your video screen. All you have to do is click that to enter the giveaway. When it's time, when you see it up there, just got to hit that button. So we'll get that started here momentarily after Kelly's shot here in frame number 4. If you are in full screen mode, we do recommend that you take it out of full screen mode for the giveaway upcoming here. So after Kelly finishes her 4th frame, either right here with a strike or afterwards with a spare, we'll get it underway. So good luck, everybody. One lucky viewer taking home Bowl TV t-shirt.
So far, Aaron, a lot of change early on here in final game. Kelly Kulik going along at a 199 pace through 4. Daria Payok starts with a double, but leaves the 4 pin. Shalin Zulkifli strike spare 4 pin.
New Way Fenn, early six-bagger over on 17 and 18 now.
Yeah, she would obviously need to go off the sheet and have a lot of help. But, still possible. Shannon O'Keefe, the other player with, a somewhat realistic chance. She's 51 pins back. She's kind of treading water still with the issue she had with getting the ball to go through the pins. She's on a 197 pace through 5.
Congratulations to Carlos winning the Bowl TV t-shirt. Carlos, our marketing team will be reaching out to you in the next couple of days to redeem your prize. So congratulations and good luck, or a big thank you to everybody for participating here on Bowl TV from the PWBA Spokane Open.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Daria with a massive messenger. Takes the 10 out, but leaves the 7. Back over to 13 and 14. Liz Johnson is in good shape here with 5 strikes in her first 6 frames. She was someone in the chat had asked, with that 155, is it possible she could fall off the show? And yeah, it was. But with the way she started here this game, not only can she has she pretty much solidified her spot on the show, she can punch a ticket into second place. O'Keefe just still looking for that first double.
227, her max score out there right now. Which would get her to plus 196. New Way Fenn up to 8 in a row. She's going to be stepping up for 9 here momentarily.
Wow.
Once again, she's at plus 103. Oh, let's go. Let's go, New Way Fenn. 2016 Tour Championships winner and Rookie of the Year. Oh,
nice. That was huge.
Wow.
Because, if New Way Fenn goes off the sheet here, Aaron, if she gets to 203 and Kelly misses that spare, she's got to throw a double at some point to stay ahead.
Absolutely. Big time cover for the Hall of Famer.
Pretty much has to have it for O'Keefe here to have any chance. And she's going to come up a little short. But check over back to 17 and 18. And, by the way, this is the TV pair.
How about that? Shalin was hoping for that one. Just working on 2 in a row, but here we go. New Wave Finn. Up and ready to go. Looking for 10. Got a hold line. There we go. One thing we have not had yet this week is a player connect for all 12. 287 a couple of games ago from Shannon O'Keefe. I believe the big number so far this week. Daria. 250 still out there.
It's interesting stuff going on. Kelly Kulik with a shaker 7 in the ninth. Now her max score 208. Would still be enough to stay ahead of New Wave Fenn.
Oh, okay. All right. Whew.
Just trying to add to the drama.
The drama is overflowing. So much drama.
All right, here we go for 11.
Yowza.
10 back.
Absolutely just destroyed the 8-9 there. Cool, calm, and collected. New Wave Fenn. 11 for 11, folks.
Kelly Kulik spared the 7-pin in the ninth, so if New Wave Fenn strikes here, Kelly would just need good count in the 10th to stay ahead of her.
2-0 might not do it if Daria adds on a couple more strikes after this. Shalin might be running out of frames. But here we go. New Wave Fenn. Going for 300. We are on the board, folks. We are on the board. 300 game, New Wave Fenn. To wrap up qualifying here at the PWBA Spokane Open.
We'll stay here for Daria's shot, and then we'll bounce back over to Kelly Kulik. Now it's a battle between those two for the last spot on the show.
Adds another one in the 8th. 255, the max score for Daria. Kelly got the first hit in the 10th. So 208 still out there. O'Keefe is going to finish with 203. And that can be enough for Shannon, but a resilient performance from her. Humongous shot here for Kelly. Oh, big time shot, delivers. Gonna up that total.
Yeah, 228 over is what she'll finish on. If she can throw one more strike, that would mean Daria would need 239 or better, which means basically would need the next 2 strikes.
Next 2, yep. 255 her max score. Must strike situation. Oh.
Wow.
3, 4, 6, 7. And that double in the 10th is also going to push Kelly far enough away from a late string of strikes from Shalyn Zulkifli. She could still get to plus 221 if she strikes out. But Kelly's going to add pins to her plus 220 with any type of count here. 204 is plus 224. That should be enough.
Yep.
By all accounts.
It is. Man. It was as exciting as advertised, Aaron Smith.
New Way Fenn with a 300 to get all the way up to plus 203. She's going to jump from 11th to
probably 7th.
Probably 7th, yeah, with Daria striking there. Daria should get technically she needs the double here. 205 would be plus 195. She's Shalyn, if she doesn't strike, she'd be in the 2 teens.
Yeah, she could get to 5th.
She could get to 5th here, yep. So Shalyn would need the first hit to lock up 5th place.
Yeah. So there's one more spot for New Way Finn. And now if Daria misses here, she'll pass her as well. How about that?
300, the final game to jump from 11th to 5th. Welcome back, Team Singapore.
We said, Aaron, that it could get to a point where the 12th place player could shoot 300 the last game and make the show, and that almost happened.
Absolutely nuts.
Whew. Fellas.
Indeed.
Fellas. So, of course, my prediction was there was going to be no 300s. And we set what did we set it at? 2.5 was we ended up setting it at 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
And I said under. So at least I win that. But as with anything, everybody's got to go in at the very last moment and ruin my predictions.
Yeah.
But what a heck of a game. What a way to finish.
Introduce to you your top 4 for the PWBA Spokane Open Step Ladder Finals. We're going to start with our number 4 seed from Union, New Jersey, USBC Hall of Famer Kelly Hewlett. Their opponent in the opening match is our number 3 seed from Ukraine, Masha. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you your top 4 for the PWBA Spokane Open Step Ladder Finals. We're going to our number 2 qualifier from Niagara Falls, New York, USBC Hall of Famer Liz Johnson. The winner of that match will then face our tournament leader from Stony Point, New York, Danielle McEwen. Bowling fans, these are your top 4 finalists for the live Bowl TV Step Ladder Finals of the 2021 PWBA Spokane Open. How about another round of applause for all of our competitors? On behalf of the entire PWBA staff, thank you very much for joining us during our qualifying round and all of your support of the PWBA. Make sure to return tonight at 6 p.m. for the exciting conclusion of the PWBA Spokane Open. Seating will begin at approximately 5:30. 5:30 for seating, so thank you all very much. At this time, we're going to ask all of our spectators who will be sticking around for the TV show, we're going to ask that you move down to the lounge, to the restaurant, clearing all of the concourse space so we can get ready for our step ladder finals. Thank you.
All right, folks, there we have it. Our
Man.
top seed, Danielle McEwen, will face the winner of the semifinal matchup between Liz Johnson and the winner from our opening match, Dasha Kovalova versus Kelly Kulik. So that's one heck of a top 4, Jason Thomas, if I have to say so myself.
It's a pretty impressive group. You've got certainly a number of Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers for sure.
That we do, folks. And the best part about all this is not only the top athletes on the PWBA Tour competing for a title right before the U.S. Women's Open, but you get to see it all on Bowl TV tonight. Dave Lamont and the Hall of Famer Carolyn Doran-Ballard will be joining us for the call here in just a couple hours, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be a little more than an hour from right now. We'll be back in business here. We'll have a quick pregame show as well before the start of it. But with our top 4, once again, we're going to have Kelly Kulik versus Dasha Kovalova. Winner takes on Liz Johnson. Winner of that title match against Danielle McEwen. Coming up next year from the PWBA Spokane Open. We got a TV show to get ready for, so we're going to keep it short here as we wrap up. Big thanks to USBC, BPWA, and their board of directors for their continued support of the PWBA Tour. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider. Our PWBA Tour athletes for always putting on a fantastic show. And, of course, all you good folks watching on Bowl TV, thank you for being part of the community and supporting USBC and the PWBA Tour. Finally, for the PWBA, our host center, Lilac Lanes, and their whole crew, the IBC supporting staff here in Arlington, Texas, the Bowl TV team, Curtis Von Kruger, Jason Thomas, I'm Aaron Smith. We're signing off right now. We'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern time, Step Ladder Finals, PWBA Spokane Open. So, folks, we'll see you soon. And remember, as always, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here.